I'm so lucky that my podcast, Beauty on the Inside, is doing so well that I've had messages from you guys asking me to help you with your dilemmas. We've got imposter syndrome, we've got making friends in your 20s, we've got everything. So with that being said, welcome to today's episode of Beauty on the Inside podcast. Okay guys, today I'm freestyling. We're doing a freestyle rap. It's not a rap, it's a Q&A. We're doing a Q&A today, which I'm so excited about. Thank you to everyone who sent in messages, because even though the podcast is small, she's mighty. Like, you guys, you're clocked in. You're listening. You listen to what I have to say, which is any girl's dream. So thank you so much. We have a couple of questions today. I may look like I'm filled with anxiety, and that's because I am. Basically, there's a bit of land next to my house that I've been trying to buy for the last 3 years. And the guy finally said yes. And now I've just sent him an offer. And I'm waiting for his reply right now. So if I look a bit anxious, if I feel all over the place, that is why. But this is a perfect example of a manifestation coming to life. If he replies on this podcast saying yes, the law of attraction is real. Well, I knew that anyway, but you know what I mean? If you listened to last week's episode, you know that my brother is helping me now with all things Beauty on the Inside podcast. So he put up a story and said, any questions, any dilemmas, send them my way. So I've got the questions in front of me and we're going to go through them. I know I say this every single episode, but I wish I had a podcast like this when I was growing up, because there's nothing like trauma dumping on someone and then for them to untangle all your thoughts and then for you to become a much lighter person. I love sharing problems. I love fixing problems. I'm a problem solver. Do not come to me if you don't want your problems fixed, because a lot of people think they want to fix their problems and they don't. I see you. I hear you, and you can stay in your lane. However, I'm a problem solver. If you've got any anxious thoughts, any worries, send them my way. I'm not a professional, but I do enjoy it. So let's get into it. At Dion Nemo, slay name, said, how do I get my spark back and love myself? I'm going to call you Dion. I don't actually know your name, but I'm going to call you Dion. So this is so draining. I'm going to speak from personal experience. There's nothing worse than bed rotting. I love bed rotting, but bed rotting to a point where you actually hate yourself because you're like, why can't I get up and brush my teeth in the morning? So after a while of you not actively doing things to make yourself feel better and just bed rotting and doing whatever you got to do, laying in bed, watching Netflix, after, like, society has made us think that self-care is having a week in bed. It can make you so much worse. So these are the steps that I take if I'm in a funk, if I'm not feeling myself, if I feel like shit, because we all feel like it. So when you don't love yourself, it's because you've been thinking over and over and over again how much you dislike yourself. So it might have been like one bad day where you look at yourself and you think, ew, I'm speaking from experience, I'm not speaking for you, by the way, but there might be one day where you look in the mirror and you think, ew, like, I look gross today, I feel gross today, whatever. That could be one thought that could send you into a spiral. And then the next day you could wake up and you still feel the same way. And then the next day you wake up and something worse happens. So it's so easy to get into that funk. You only need 2 or 3 days of not liking yourself for it to become, like you said, losing your spark. So how I personally get my spark back and how I personally make myself feel better when I feel like I've lost my spark and I've lost myself is to focus on me. And I know that sounds really simple, but treat yourself as if you were treating a best friend who was sick or something like that. So, for example, get out of bed and say, like, I know this is something really small and really simple, but you know, if my eyebrows are not tinted, I feel like that sounds so silly, but like, do something for yourself that makes you feel better. Because when you feel better on the outside, you'll start to feel better on the inside. So I would say, go to Tesco's, buy a face mask, buy a box of hair dye and dye your eyebrows. If you want a tutorial, then I've definitely got one on my TikTok. Dye your eyebrows, do something nice for you, have fake tan, wash your hair. And the next morning when you wake up and you feel tanned and you look nice and you feel presentable, it's just one tiny step to getting your spark back. So I don't know if you've seen Becky Jones on TikTok has started doing Couch to 5K. I've started doing Couch to 5K, and I never thought, I'm not a very sporty person, to be honest, and I never thought I'd actually like running at all. But you know, doing something for myself and getting outside and being with nature, it's the worst half an hour of my life, don't get me wrong. However, after I've done it, I'm like, wow, I am unstoppable. Sign me up for a high rocks. So focusing on yourself and doing things that you enjoy and doing things that make you feel better. I know, like, if I've been in a relationship and you just don't look after yourself, you don't do your lashes, or you don't take time for yourself, you don't care for yourself. And then when you come out of that relationship, you're like, oh, I've got all this time and, you know, I've got people in to impress. So let me do my eyebrows, or let me dye my hair a different color, or get new extensions, or something on the outside can really affect you on the inside. So I would definitely focus on one thing that always makes you feel better. Is that your hair? Even if you dye it at home and you stick a box dye on it, dye your eyebrows, have a fake tan, have a shave, do something first of all to make yourself feel better on the outside. The next one, and none of us like this, none of us like to hear this, social media is killing your spark. Every time you click on social media, you may as well just take a bit of your spark away and throw it over your fucking shoulder. I know it's so painful to get off social media, but I need to do an episode on it because it's so important. So every time that you're flicking, you think, oh, I'm just chilling. We've been conditioned to think chilling is flicking on your phone, but you don't know, at the back of your brain is like, well, you don't look as pretty as that. Your hair doesn't look as nice as that. You're not as fit as that. Why are you? And it adds to your self-sabotage, and it adds to your self-hate, which is so horrible. So what I've done is, on your phone, you can hold down an app and you can press hide, and it takes it off your home screen, and it takes it to the very end of your phone. So you've got to swipe all the way. You've got to have a Face ID on it, and then it lets you into your social media. So by the time I've scrolled to the end of my phone to go on social media, I've realized that I don't actually want to flick on my phone. I'm just either bored or... So what I would say in replace of social media is find a little cute hobby. So you need to calm your brain. All your brain is doing right now is like, oh, you're not good enough, you know, da-da-da-da-da. Like, you've said that you don't feel like you love yourself anymore, and it's because you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, and we all do it. Like, I am so guilty of this. Like, we all do this. So, you know, like, people have started like bedazzling things, like a makeup product. Like, sit on your bed with a nice film on, and it'll be so hard not to go on your phone. But like, if you do this, it will 100% help you in your ways. So number 2 is get off social media. And definitely, when you wake up in the morning, I need to do a full episode on like waking up in the morning and your morning routine and your nighttime routine. When you wake up in the morning, okay, don't go on your phone. Don't go on your phone, because your brain is in that like, oh, good morning, like, what are we doing today? Da, 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 kind of voice and kind of mode. And the first thing you're doing is picking up and thinking about how ugly your hair is because someone's got better hair than you. Stay off your phone for like as long as you can, 15, 20 minutes. I will normally get out of bed, go downstairs, won't check my phone, won't even look at the time, get an alarm clock or something and put your phone over the other side of the room, because it makes you put yourself first rather than your phone first. Whenever I wake up and I check my phone, all day I'm addicted to my phone, and it makes me feel so shit. So wake up in the morning, don't look at your phone, go and brush your teeth, go and make yourself a coffee, look outside, open the door, have some air in your face, stretch. And then if you really want to go upstairs and check your phone. But those 10, 15 minutes of just doing something for yourself before you glue yourself to your phone, which is making you so much worse. Do something nice for yourself. Go and brush your teeth, go and brush your hair, go and put a face mask on. If you work and like say you've got to be up for work, you've got to leave for work at 6 a.m, get up 10 minutes earlier so you don't have to check your phone. Because if you're like waking up, you're sat on the toilet, like Sam gets up in the morning. Sorry, Sam, just landing you in it. Sam gets up in the morning, goes to the toilet and sits on his phone. And I'm like, mate, that's not going to do you any favors today, because you're tricking yourself into thinking that that's the best part of your day, is sitting on the toilet with your phone in the morning, and then, oh, you've got to go to work, oh, I can't go on my phone anymore, da 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 da. But like, just try those little things. So number 1, limit social media time. I know it's a ball, like I know you don't want to, but even if you put YouTube video on or watch YouTube, like a longer form video, and like buy some colouring for yourself, or buy a nice book, or do the bedazzling that everyone's doing at the minute, anything that just takes your focus off other people and onto yourself and onto what you're doing is a bonus. Number 2, don't check your phone in the morning. It's a recipe for disaster. And number 3, do something that makes you feel better. Whether that's going for a 20-minute walk or dyeing your eyebrows, dyeing your hair, whatever you got to do, just do it. Watch a few videos on YouTube of like how to glow up or something like that. They're my favorite videos. They're so inspiring, and it just makes you get your spark back eventually, because you're like, why the fuck am I sat on my bed watching all these people live their life and I'm not living my life? Social media is the devil, but makes the world go round. Okay. Oh my God, he still hasn't replied. He said yes! He said yes! Andy, I fucking love you. Oh my God, guys. I gotta text my auntie. Oh my God, he said yes! He said yes! Oh my God, I'm gassed. Oh my God, I've literally just bought land. What the fuck? Oh my God! So when I moved into this house, sorry, we're going off topic. When I moved into this house, there's a bit of land over there. And the guy who built the house was like, oh, I wish I bought that bit of land off him because I really wanted it. So ever since then, I've been really eyeing it up. I can see it from my bedroom window. It's on the river. I want that bit of land. So I finally picked up the courage to send a letter through his door, and he said no. And I was like, right, okay. Anyway, fast forward, went to Australia, came home, he came and knocked at me, and he was like, have you not got my text? And I was like, no, babes, what's your text? And he was like, I want to sell the land. I was like, period. An offer accepted after 3 years. What a time. What a fucking time. Sorry, this is not what you signed up for today, but I'm sharing the goals, bitch, because this will be you. Love you, Andy. Everyone comment, love you, Andy. Oh, I love that. I'm so gassed about that. Okay, let's get back to it. Our next question is from Kate B. Kate B said, making friends in your 20s. I'm 26 and I still haven't found my girls. I struggle with friendships. I struggle with friendships in my 20s. It's painful. It's painful. But when you find the right friends, there's nothing better in life. So I'm going to take you through some of my friendships and maybe you can relate or maybe it'll help you. So I've always had like friendship groups, only like 4 of us at a time, whatever. So when I was in school, I had a group of 4 of us in primary school and we all moved up to high school, and 2 of those girls made new friends and it was only one and my other friend left. And I'm so bad at making friends. Like, I'm so bad at making friends unless I know them already or something like that. Like, my auntie, for example, she will go up to anyone. She picks up friends like I pick up pants. Like, I've never seen anything like it. She'll like literally have a new friend every week and she doesn't deep it. She doesn't deep it if they don't text anymore. I'm not like that. I'm very like serious. I'm very serious. Like, do you want to be my friend or not? Like, there's no in between. And it does stop me holding on and keeping on to friendships. Like, that is something that I struggle with myself. So I do get that, because I'm like, unless you're my best friend, I don't want to be your friend. And it's just like, it doesn't need to be like that, which is something that I'm learning eventually. You know, I'm getting there. So I wormed my way into another friendship group and there was 3 of us. And then when I went to college, I found this girl that I really got on with, loved her so much. And we had like a little clique. We fell out, and I've always kind of like fallen out with friends and then found new friends, which I don't think is a very healthy way to manage your friendships, to be honest. So maybe we'll have to do an episode on like realizing things, because I've not realized yet how to not do that. But my last friendship group, there was 3 of us, and I hope they don't mind me talking about this, but it's not really optional, to be honest. It'll make me realize who's actually listening to the pod and who's not, because I'm speaking about you guys. But my last friendship group was through COVID. So there was 3 of us, and we were like, my friend came to live with me because I was living on my own and I just split up with my ex. So we quarantined together, and the 3 of us, we were like this, loved it so much. But obviously quarantine was so different because you were just stuck in each other's pockets. Like, you were seeing the people that you were seeing and that was it. Like, it was just us 3. And then when we went out into the real world and we went back to Costa and stuff, I obviously couldn't see them as much as I wanted. And my one friend started excluding me. She started like making plans with my other friend without me, and then they'd be like, oh, we're going to Nando's later, do you want to come? And I'd be like, sorry, this is a friendship group of 3. Like, why are you not putting that in the group chat? Which I feel like every girl can experience, because I was just like, what? This went on for a while. And in the end, even though I had no other friends to go to, I had to say to these 2 friends, goodbye. Like, you are being so spiteful, so nasty. They weren't inviting me to things. They were like posting that they were out for food together, and I wasn't invited or wasn't even aware. It was horrible. It was absolutely a horrible position to be in. And I remember thinking to myself, this is horrible, but is having no friends worse? So after a while, I was working in Costa, and I remember it so well. They were in the group chat, and my other friend had come to see me in work that day. So like, we were absolutely fine. But it was the other friend that was like, she was like, oh, yeah, we're doing this tonight, and da 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 da. So anyway, after a while, I was so sick of this. I literally saw my friend in work, the other one, and that afternoon, they were like, oh, we're doing this on the weekend, or like they'd planned something without me. Shock. And I remember thinking like, I've seen you today, and you've not brought that up. Like, this was my other friend, not the problematic one, the other one. But I was just like, I've seen you today, and you've not even brought this up. Like, I don't want to be friends with either of you anymore. So we had like a Snapchat group chat, lol. And I put in the Snapchat group chat, like, I don't want to be your friends anymore. Like, this is it. It was like a breakup. It was like a full-on breakup. Blocked them. And I didn't speak to them for 4 years. But there was a transition of time where I did not have any friends. There was like 2 years in between there, where obviously I had people that I knew, and I do TikTok, and, you know, people would ask me to go out. But I was so anxious, and so like, I was so used to people being sat on my sofa, and for us to have tea together every night, and for me to like live in someone's pocket, that like the thought of just having a friend that you go for food with and stuff is like, I wanted a best friend. So like, I didn't want to be friends with anyone who wasn't going to live in my pocket, because that's what I was used to and that's what I enjoyed. But it was so scary, the thought of finding new friends, that I just didn't. And I didn't have any friends for a long, long time. It was probably about 2 years. And then I had Sam. And if you've got a boyfriend, it can make you feel like you don't need anyone else. But best believe, when me and Sam split up over the summer, I had no plans and I had no friends. This is going somewhere, by the way, and I hope this is helping you, because it just makes you realise like that we're all in the same boat sometimes. So, realisation. I've got no friends. It's Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and boys go out with anyone. I know that Sam would be out on the piss doing whatever he wanted, and I was sat Billy no mates, because I'd said no to everyone, because I preferred to sit in with my boyfriend rather than making friends. So the realisation that I had was, when someone asks you to do something, you have to say yes. You have to say yes. If someone's making an effort with you, you have to make an effort back. And I know that is the most painful bit, is if someone says you want to go for food and you're like, oh my God, no, I got too much anxiety. What am I going to speak about? All these kinds of things. Like, some people obviously don't get these thoughts, but I did. Like, I was just like, what are we going to talk about? I was just in such a panic all the time. So I started saying yes to some people, like, oh, do you want to come out tonight? Even if it's just like a drunk friendship or whatever. Say you've got like a colleague in work that you get along with better than anyone else, and they're like, oh, I'm not doing anything tonight. Suggest to people, like, just start saying to the people in your life that you like, you know, do you want to go for a drink tonight? Do you fancy going for food tonight? And it does start to spiral. If I'm really struggling for friends, which we all go through phases, I go to old friends that I enjoyed their company. And I'll tell you for why. So for example, this friendship group that I had, remember I was telling you about the one that like came in to see me before work, and the other one was being spiteful. So we didn't speak. It's Mitchell. I'm going to tell you it's Mitchell. Me and Mitchell didn't speak. He won't mind me saying this, for 4.5 years. Like, had each other blocked. There was no bad blood. Me and Mitchell didn't necessarily fall out, but we weren't getting along either. So 4 years later, when I like broke up with Sam and stuff like this, not necessarily even then, it was like when me and Sam were on the rocks. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But someone who knew Mitchell asked me if I wanted to go on a dog walk. And I was like, brilliant. Like, I've got a mate, so this is perfect. So I went on a dog walk with this girl, and even something as simple like that, like even if you just say, if you know someone who's got a dog, or do you want to go for a little dog walk or something like that, it doesn't have to be long. Half an hour interaction is just one step closer to you making a friend. So we went on a dog walk, and this girl knows Mitchell, and she was like, oh, Mitchell's been asking about you. And I was like, oh, no way. And I was just like, oh, that'd be so nice to like rekindle our friendship. So they said they were going to the races, and like Mitchell was like, come to the races. And I hadn't spoken to Mitchell in 4.5 years, so I didn't know what the vibes were going to be like. I didn't know what it was going to be like. And Mitchell literally was just like, I'll pick you up from your house, we'll go to the races. I had the best day ever with these group of friends who I was initially in this group of friends, but obviously they'd gone off. I'd gone done my thing, and they still like welcomed me back with open arms. So like that is an example of like getting back in touch with people that you already had in your life and that you already enjoyed. We're growing up. We're young. Like if you fall out with someone in your young 20s, there's no reason that you can't rekindle that friendship when you're like 25, 26, or even like 6 months down the line. Someone that I know of, for example, like I see them on social media, they have just split up with their boyfriend, and they were like, oh, well, I fell out with one of my friends years ago, and and I was speaking to her, and I was like, just text her. Just text your friend. And she was like, well, no, because we fell out really badly, And I literally said, like, just text her. And she never texted her. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Anyway, when I saw her a couple of weeks later, she came up to me and she was like, oh my days, like that person, that friend, that ex-friend has messaged me and said, like, do you want to go for food or something? So even if you have someone in your life and you're like, we fell out too badly to ever be friends, they might be thinking the exact same thing. We are in an epidemic of people not having friends. Like I've been there. I've literally been in that phase where like you don't have any mates. It's painful, but everyone is pretty much in the same boat. Like everyone has like one or two good friends. Like one of my best friend, Nadia, she lives in Australia. She will always be my best friend. Like I can text her about anything and she will not judge me. That's the friendship we've got. But realistically, like unless you're a very, very sociable person like my auntie, people don't have loads and loads of friends. So I would reach out to people that you used to know. Definitely, if anyone asks you to do anything, say yes. Someone that I know as well, there was someone on TikTok, and it was like, we're meeting up in Cardiff to do like a big like a singles girls night, and not like people who are single, people who didn't have any friends. So she went to this, it was in Tonight Josephine, and there was a group of girls and none of them brought any friends, and they sit you on a table and you instantly make friends with that table and with the people next to you, and you're getting drunk with all the girls. And I just thought, that's brilliant. That is amazing. So look at things like that. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. I know it'll be horrendous. It could be very, very painful, but it also could be so worth it, because then you could have a group of friends. I'm very lucky to have a group of best friends right now. And that just happened because I said yes. So I was friends with one of the girls. I was friends with two of the girls already. Hey guys, Sam's just got home and she's on a podcast. Do you want to tell people, my question is, how do you make friends in your 20s?
Talk.
Get outside, unfortunately.
Like literally leave the house and just say hello to people.
That's easy for you because you fucking love to yap anyway.
Yappa.
Yappa.
I made friends with like some 90-year-old woman called Susan, I think the name was.
Sam will go to golf and see people that he hasn't seen in years, and he's like, I made you right. But it's very surface level with you. Like, you just like...
Oh, it's basic. I know.
It's basic.
I don't care what you have.
Girls are a bit deeper than that.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, mate, you okay? Do you know what I mean? How's the golf game? Do you know what I mean? Or like, what are you doing
What are you doing on a weekend?
What are you doing on a weekend? You having a bev? Wee.
But girls are a bit more serious than that. Like, they want a best friend that they can tell everything to.
Yeah, see, fuck that. I don't like sharing my secrets.
What secrets? You haven't got any secrets.
Got a little dick.
What the fuck? Oh my god. I can't really remember where I was, but basically, yeah, I would say, first of all, have a look at the people around you, people in work, baby steps. And also, it doesn't have to be like that person is going to be your best friend forever. But it's like that person, you might go out with like someone from work and their friends, and then you get along with like one of their friends really, really well. So like you meet people in different ways. Oh yeah, so the girls that I'm friends with now, for example, like we all knew each other. We all knew each other well. Like I knew of them. and two of the girls had booked to go to Ibiza, and I just split up with Sam, and I was like, can I come? And they were like, of course you can come. So I just ended up going to Ibiza with them, and now there's a group of us, and all summer is fully booked with these girls. And if I hadn't have said yes to that holiday, and if I hadn't have made the effort just to get outside and get out of the house and get out of my head, then I wouldn't have had the friends that I've got now. So very grateful. So number one, pay attention to the people around you and chat to them and see if they're busy on the weekend or whatever you want to do. Sign up for a club, sign up for something that you enjoy doing. So like even like that single girls night that I was talking about or something like that. Meet up with an old friend. Start small, and if you're out there actively trying to look for a friend, you will find a friend or a couple or a group in my case. Okay, last question, because I've not stopped yapping today. So last question is from Ellie K Makeup. Love you, diva. She said, I'm so bad with self-sabotage, imposter syndrome. I feel like because I'm a smaller creator, as soon as I see myself doing well, I get uncomfortable and distance myself. Which doesn't make sense because everything I want to happen is happening. Like, why am I doing this to myself? Also feel like I'm not good enough to be at events. Every time I get invited to an event, I either don't go or I feel like I shouldn't be there. It makes me feel sick. I'm always telling everyone else they shouldn't feel this way, and I hype my girls up because everyone deserves to be there. But why do I do this to myself? Like, I need to work on learning what I preach, period. First of all, I want to say imposter syndrome. Everything that you've said in that message is something that every single one of us can relate to. I've related. I've been there. It's horrible to have imposter syndrome and to feel like you're not good enough when, you know, you are. You deserve to be in that room. Everyone else is thinking the exact same thing, but you already know that. So from your message, you're already like, I'm a smaller creator. I feel like I shouldn't be there. This is what you told yourself. This is what you keep telling yourself on a daily basis. So your brain and your safety net and your subconscious mind is telling you all of these things over and over again. So whenever you try and go to something new or push yourself out of your comfort zone, you've got that voice in the back of your mind saying everything that you've just said. As soon as you feel uncomfortable and discomfort, then you instantly pull away or you don't go, you feel like you're not good enough, and you're going to live this cycle over and over again, which can be so draining, but we all have been there. You also said that this is something that I've always wanted. That is so important, and that is why you feel so much more pressure than saying to someone else, like, oh, you deserve to be here, you've done so well, da, 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 da. That's why you're struggling so much, is because you feel like this is make or break. You feel like this is everything that you've ever wanted. So the pressure to show up and to be there and to be your best self and to put all this anxiety aside, even though you're fully in this anxiety, is why, again, you keep like retracting and keep pulling back. And it also means like if you do start getting everything that you've wanted, that means more of that. And you might be thinking, well, I don't like that. I don't like socializing with people, or I don't like, you know, going to these events or whatever. Like, whether you genuinely don't like going to these events or if it's just imposter syndrome, only you know. It will put more pressure on you and more expectations for you to do better. But you need to comfort yourself and you need to be there for yourself, which I'll go into. So I've literally been in rooms recently. I went to attach a lunch with Sephora and I was like, all these people have been on Love Island. All these people have massive platforms. I love all these people. Why the fuck am I here? And I need to remember, like, Tatcha like me, like Space NK like me, like, and all these people were happy to see me. So you need to change the story inside of you for you to go to that next level. As soon as you push through this barrier of going to an event and feeling like, yeah, I deserve to be here, this is when you're going to break through. So you need to switch your mind. Whenever you go into an event and you're like, I'm not like a big enough creator to be here, or I don't feel big enough to be here, you need to switch that and be like, I'm in this room because I'm on my way. I'm on my way to where I want to be, along with all these other people. All these other people are still, it doesn't matter which room you're in, how many influencers are there, how many Love Island peoples are there, you will feel like this in every single, not every single room that you go to, because you get more familiar with the people that are there and stuff, but like realistically, everyone feels the same and everyone's just thinking that they need to be bigger. So hopefully that comforts you a little bit. So what I would say to you is, first of all, whenever you feel the need to like cancel or skip something, or you feel like you don't want to go, sit yourself down, put your phone away, and sit yourself down with a pen and paper and be like, is me going to this event a step closer to my dream life? And if you say yes, and you're still feeling like you don't want to go, so say for example, P. Louise has invited me down to the Empire. I'm nervous to go. I'm nervous for the drive. I'm nervous to go to the Empire. I'm nervous to do all that kind of stuff. I need to think. So the one way I go to the P. Louise Empire and I make an effort, and that is one step closer to me being on there live or something like that. Or I can stay home and I can stay at my comfort zone, but nothing's going to happen there. So, and sometimes like you do get invited to events and it's like, oh, it's going to be expensive for me to go. Like maybe I shouldn't go and stuff like that. That is a reasonable excuse not to go. But if this event that you're turning down is a step in the direction to the life you want to be living, you have to go up that road. You have to go up that road. And I know it sounds scary and I know you'll be freaking out, low key, high key, whatever. But do you know, like when you get back on that train after that event and you're like, I've done it. I think that feeling of, oh my God, I've done it is so much better than I wish I fucking went to that. When you're saying to your friends, everyone deserves to be there, they're thinking the same about you. You deserve to be there as well. So this little mind in the back of your brain is what you've got to control. So I would say to you, and this is going to be a long journey, and if you're not pushing through those like, you know, events and meeting up with people or whatever you're trying to do, or like growing, if you keep retracting and keep going back to that same position that you were in before, you're just not going to break through. You need to just break through one event or go to one thing. Even if this year your only goal is to like go to one thing and try and enjoy it, try and see it as like a catch up with friends rather than being like, oh my God, I don't deserve to be here. So whenever you get those negative thoughts in your brain, I don't know if you listened to the episode of like how to control the thoughts in your brain, I would say to you, write down 5 facts or 3 facts about where you are on your platform. So say, right, I've got 15,000 followers. You wouldn't have 15,000 followers if people didn't like you, and if people weren't coming back for your content, or if people didn't think that you had a art or something like that. So write down 3 things about what you've done so far that make you feel good. So like say the last time you went to an event, someone remembered your name and you're like, oh, buzzing, or like you've achieved like, you know, a couple of thousand followers or something like that. There's a couple of things in your career you'll be like, wow, I've done that, and a lot of people would dream to do that. So I would write down 3 or 5 facts that show that you deserve to be there. So that could even be like, so it could be number 1, I wouldn't be invited to these things if they didn't want me there. Number 2, people have commented on my TikToks saying how much they love my content. Number 3, people don't lie. I wouldn't comment on someone's hair if I didn't like their hair. So all those comments that you've got on your TikTok, they're supporting you and people messaging you saying you're doing amazing, stuff like that. People are not lying. Like, you need to believe them, and you need to believe that you deserve to be there. So what I would say to you is like slowly train your mind. So there's a muscle in your brain that even though like this negative thought thing that you've got going on is obviously very strong. However, it only takes you to interrupt that one time for you to create a new loop over here that's with positive thoughts and positive things about yourself. So for example, you could be like, I don't deserve to be here. I'm scared to be here. Da, 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 da. When you find your mind spiraling, do that practice that I did to you. Stop your brain. Just be like, stop. I'm going to find something in this room that I want to look at. And when you go back into your brain, be like, say to yourself, I wouldn't have been invited if they didn't want me here. And just keep saying that to yourself. And eventually that'll strengthen the other side of your brain that says, no, you deserve to be there. And slowly it'll stop giving you like, you'll start to think, yeah, I do fucking deserve to be here. And I wonder when the next event is. And events will become so much easier to you the more that you do it. And then that's just like a small technique that you can use that will really start to reframe your brain and reframe your mind, because it's so important. You've got to take control of your brain. Otherwise, your brain was designed to keep you safe. So if you go to these events and you feel anxiety, your brain is instantly like, let's get out, let's leave. We're never doing that again, because I was scared, because I was fearful. being scared and being fearful doesn't mean that you weren't excited and weren't proud of yourself at the same time. So as much as you can focus on the fear and the anxiety, make sure you focus on the, oh my God, I just fucking did that. Or, oh my God, I just had a conversation with a brand that I knew, or something like that. Like, find the good stuff as well as the bad stuff, and it'll just get easier and easier and easier. And then, like, after you've overcome events, you'll overcome, like, not posting anymore because you feel anxiety and stuff like that. Like, if you feel anxiety, I don't know if this is the truth, but like for me, for example, if I haven't posted for a while and then I feel really anxious about posting again, it could be like, well, loads of people I've stopped posting before and then I've started reposting again and no one even fucking notices. You haven't got to start from the bottom just because you've taken a break. You can start and stop at any point, and I guarantee you, no one will even fucking notice. Like, that is the beauty of having so many people in the same space, is you can have a break and you can come back 10 times better. Don't think that it's over. Never think that a break is going to stop you. Whenever you want to get back into it, get back into it. But just make sure you have 3 or 5 sentences, facts that big yourself up. So when those thoughts come in and when they start dragging you down, you can argue with your brain. You can be like, no, sorry, I deserve to fucking be here. They know who I am. They got me a seat at this table and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to have a good time. So tell your brain to shut the fuck up. And if you haven't listened to that episode, you need to listen to that episode. Anyway, I've blabbed on for long enough today, but thank you so much for your questions. If you have any more questions, I love doing Q&As and I love helping people. So even if we haven't got a question box up on the Instagram, just DM me a dilemma or a question and I'll either voice note you back or I'll save it for the next Q&A. Be about law of attraction, content, anything you want to know, bitch. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I love you so, so much. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, comment, do all those things because it doesn't go unnoticed. And I love you so, so much.